Hello, it's Tuesday, which normally doesn't happen on a Tuesday. It's the Happy Healthcare Professionals series. I hope that you guys are well and that you are able to join me live today. If you are joining me from the Facebook group, then do allow StreamYard access to your name. You'll see it at the beginning of the post so that we can see your comments. It is Kamal. I am the host of the Happy Healthcare Professional series. I am a former national level pharmacist turned pharmacy career change coach, and I am also the founder of an organic supplement brand called Amala Pure Health. And it is my absolute pleasure to host this show for you guys and bring you just the most amazing pharmacy colleagues who have done some incredible things with their careers and just share their knowledge with us and have a discussion. If you are joining me from LinkedIn, then do say hi as well in the comments. I'd love to know where you're joining us from. And in today's discussion, we are talking about holistic pharmacy. And this is a subject that is like super, super close to my own heart because many of you may know that I am a health coach as well. And I'm a really, really big advocate of lifestyle medicine and holistic living. And it's my absolute pleasure to bring you these kinds of discussions. So if you've got any questions about holistic pharmacy, what it is, what does it mean? We're going to talk about all of that in today's discussion today, but do drop them in the comments. And who have I got joining me? I have got Dr. Marina Buksov, who is joining me in today's discussion. She is a pharmacist from the US. She's a health coach and a nutritionist, and she is a clinical herbalist as well. And she's done some incredible things in this space. And so I'm really, really excited for today's discussion. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her on screen. Hi, Tanya. Hello. Oh, bless you. On LinkedIn. Love it. So let's welcome Marina to the screen. Hi, Marina.
Hi, Komal. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I'm so excited for today's discussion. I can't wait. I have been a big, big advocate, as I mentioned, about, of holistic health and holistic living for some time now. And when we came across each other, it was really nice to come across someone else who calls himself a holistic pharmacist, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what? He's also, and I'm also. Hi, girl.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about yourself and tell us about your pharmacy journey and how you became a holistic pharmacist.
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin. Okay. Well, I think me and you kind of came across each other in this holistic pharmacy space when I started kind of looking for people that are like-minded and networking. And I actually started to host a podcast of my own, interviewing people, and I interviewed you as well. So it was really interesting to me that a lot of us in the pharmacy space are entertaining the idea of natural, holistic, and even herbal medicine. And really, I just find that our roots are so intertwined with herbal medicine. Pharmacy practice originated with herbs and extracting active ingredients, quote unquote. So I really think it goes hand in hand, and we should be knowledgeable about both. And I come from the background of the Soviet Union. I grew up in Ukraine, and there's a whole huge culture of natural medicine and herbal medicine in my country and in Russia and all those Soviet countries. So I think every country and every culture has indigenous traditional medicine, and it's just passed down from generation to generation because that is how we evolved as humans. We evolved together with the plants, and we learned to use them for our own advantages, whether for health or food or medicine or even fiber and material. So it's really nice to be able to trace back these things to the roots and use it as it was used in your culture and learn about it. So When I came to the US, it was really strange when I went to the pharmacy school that we barely had any education, and just like, okay, digitalis came from this, Coumadin came from that, like that was it, and oh, if you want to take some nutraceuticals, sure, you can do that, but it's not proven effective or safe. That's pretty much like the gist of the education. And I think I was just always looking to combine the things that I know other countries are doing in their apothecaries in my own country, and then not really seeing that translated here. And then I just was curious to learn more and more and more. And so I ended up becoming an herbalist myself.
Amazing. I mean, I really resonate with what you're saying about kind of like traditional roots, because for me that was very much the case as well. Like I grew up with home remedies ultimately that came from that have Ayurvedic roots, right, which is like the science of of life that comes from India. And so for me, I guess when I was studying pharmacy, it became very much the case of we were very much kind of down the conventional route, of course. But when I kind of rediscovered it after many, many years, I realized that for me, it was something that many of us can use alongside and with to support our health and well-being, right? So it's not a be all and end all. It's a and, right?
Exactly.
You can have you can have conventional medicine as well as complementary medicine to support you as well, right? So yeah, I love you've been able to combine these two things together. And another thing you mentioned about how pharmacy's roots are in herbalism, right?
Right.
From the very essence of a pharmacist is being an apothecary and creating these remedies for their patients that are very much bespoke, actually very much personalized to the individual, right?
Yeah. And like many industries, unfortunately, this art and this craft of individualized approaches and individualized, prescriptions that would be compounded from different plants and extracts specifically for the patient has become industrialized. So now we just do it on a mass scale. We study the most average doses that would fit the most average person. But obviously it's not the case for everyone, and everybody's different. Every physiology is different, and everybody might respond differently. So we never really know if that's really the best starting dose for this particular patient. And we just kind of standardize it and shoot it at everyone.
Yeah. And, I think the really amazing thing about one of the things for me anyway that I learned through kind of doing my health coaching around holistic pharmacy was or just holistic living was the fact that it is about personalization, right? It is about helping the individual to work out what are the right lifestyle, diet, nutritional measures, supplementation that is right for the individual, right?
Absolutely. It's not one size fits all, and it's not a pill for every ill. It's not one diet that's going to fit everyone. Like I've done the most healthiest diets and they just didn't fit well with me and didn't resolve my issues. Another reason why I'm kind of drawn to this whole more holistic healing and healing as a whole individual and not just isolating specific problems that you can fix with this medication or that, is really because I had my own personal health journey and my own health challenges that really kept pushing me out of the box, and conventional allopathic medicine just really was not helpful. It was actually pretty intense and invasive and traumatic, I would have to say. And I wish that I had done more research or was even aware of more things that are out there And again, not every alternative remedy will also be good or helpful. So it's really about trying to give yourself those options and those tools and those choices, and then going with the most educated decision of what you know at that time. And I just wish I knew more at the time when I underwent certain things, and maybe I would have changed some things. And now my mission and journey is really to just share that with others, that there are other options. You have access to them if you educate yourself, and especially if you're a healthcare practitioner and you educate yourself, you can then impact your family, yourself, and all the clients and patients that you interact with.
Yeah, absolutely. I find that this discussion is one that a lot of us have a struggle with as pharmacists, right? Because we've got this kind of like scientific head, which is like, I need to know all the data behind, every single measure and interaction and intervention that I'm making, right? And that's kind of like drilled into us when we become pharmacists. But then there's also the human side to us, right? Which interacts with our patients on a completely different level, because we know them as individuals. Like in a community pharmacy, when you know someone, you know that person's, likes and dislikes and their lifestyle, and how, where they live, what they eat. These things about them that we really don't know how to use that knowledge to inform the decisions and the choices that we help them to make in terms of making their lifestyle changes. Would you kind of agree with that or disagree with that, or what are your views on it?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And to add to that human side, I think the problem that I really had in standard like retail or community pharmacy setting is that I felt I have the knowledge to offer assistance, but I don't really have the autonomy to do that. So it's like I'm stuck between the doctors writing the orders, what is the insurance paying for, but if I were to think outside the box, it would neither get paid for by the insurance, it would not get approved by the doctor, and then the patient would be like reluctant to spend their own time and money on whatever I'm suggesting. So I really felt like it was difficult for me to have the knowledge but not be able to really even do anything about it. So when the patient is open and asking for more things and like, what else can I do, like that the doctor didn't give me, and they are willing to do those extra steps, then that's the perfect time for us to step in and educate them and take those likes and dislikes into account. And some patients really like alternative and natural remedies, and they're discouraged by their doctors, for example, because there's not enough evidence. So I think this is like a chance for us to say, actually, there is some evidence, and if we become experts of that knowledge as well as the pharmaceuticals, that's going to be the really holistic approach.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think there's a really important element to not kind of getting into that space of saying, it's one way, or or just no other way. Do you know what I mean?
Or the highway.
We do have to respect what our patients want. I think I'm seeing a really increasingly growing number of people who are looking for a holistic way to manage their health, right? They are looking to make those lifestyle changes. They are looking to make those adjustments to their lifestyle. And I would go so far as saying, actually, most patients, when they come into a pharmacy, the surface answer is, I'm looking for a pill for every ill.
Right.
But the real deep answer is, I don't actually want that. Like, I want you to help me to figure out how to improve my health in a way that doesn't make me reliant on, on a quick fix ultimately.
Yeah. One of my colleagues recently said that the medication or the intervention is really supposed to be like a Band-Aid, a temporary Band-Aid, so that you can alleviate your symptoms and give you some time to figure out what is going on the back end. What is the process that's happening, that we can then have a preventative kind of intervention or lifestyle, or, figure out that root cause that's being thrown around in functional medicine nowadays. And so obviously when you're not feeling great, you want a quick fix. But if you just continue to apply that quick fix, then you're not really addressing the source of that problem. Like, where is this problem coming from in the first place? And how can we prevent it from happening in the future? How can we balance out this process that's happening that's not pleasant, that, should not be happening?
Totally. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it in functional medicine. We talk about, the fact that we have to get to the root cause. So one of our, one of our members of the group has just said, couldn't agree more with you, Kamal. Deprescribing and looking at the patient as a whole can be so challenging, as quite often patients come to us looking for a magic pill. When we make other interventions that don't involve medication, they can often be disappointed or think we're doing nothing. Educating patients around the benefits of alternative therapies is so important. It's so true, because there's so much that patients can do for themselves, right? And, empowering them to be able to do that is part of a job of a holistic practitioner, I feel. That I've seen it myself with, clients that I've worked with who have been able to really improve their health massively through lifestyle changes, to the point where they no longer need conventional medicine, right? Wow. And those studies are, they are growing in numbers. Like, we know that one of our key roles is to deprescribe, right? It is to deprescribe. It is to
manage polypharmacy,
the medical burden on patients, right? The medicine burden on patients. So there is a space for holistic pharmacy, I feel, where we can really well marry our pharmacy knowledge and bring together lifestyle knowledge together with what you're doing, herbalism, which is amazing, right? And bring all of those elements together so that we are providing our patients with a solution that could really work for them as individuals, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had patients who come to me complaining about a doctor. They're like, oh, I want an antibiotic because I feel sick. And, when I told the doctor that, they told me, no, just drink more water. I'm not giving you an antibiotic. And I'm like, oh, that's such a good doctor. Who is this? Like, I have to go to that doctor, because I said, I totally agree. So many things just go wrong if we're not having enough water, like from energy depletion to headaches to migraines to like all sorts of things. So there was some famous person, I forgot who, but they had like a thesis or a theory that it's not the pill that's helping us, it's the water that we take to swallow the pill that's actually therapeutic. So, it's just an example of saying, like, there is so much we can do for ourselves before we turn to a medication. And I think it's all about a shift in perception and about education. So if we perceive that the medication is something life-saving and good and like the only way out, then everybody wants it. And that's how it's marketed. Like, remember all those antidepressant commercials? Like, oh, you're feeling sad, try this,
Well, we don't have that here because we're not allowed to advertise drugs in the same way as the US. But
so we had that. We
can see how that would,
We used to have even way more. I think they definitely cut that down with the FCC, but I remember that. And that is because of the perception and the marketing message and the advertising. But if we have the perception that actually we want to reduce our pill burden, we want our bodies to thrive optimally without any crutch or Band-Aid or medication or drug, then we will look for alternative ways before we turn to any kind of, traditional prescribing modalities.
Yeah. And, when you think about the biggest burdens that we have, in our healthcare system, they are lifestyle related conditions, right? They are lifestyle related diseases like diabetes and heart, high blood pressure and heart disease. All of these conditions, are as a result of lifestyle related. And that's the thing that's the place that we can really support our patients with, right? Before they've even got to that stage. And, there's so much that we can do ahead of that, which I just think, we just don't have the framework, so to speak, to help us to be able to do that, And I suppose that's one of the reasons why you and I have kind of done all these other courses, right?
Yeah.
I did a program in applied clinical, functional medicine for clinical practitioners. I did, my health coaching, and all of these, all of these courses really helped me to kind of build together my understanding and my knowledge of lifestyle medicine and how that can fit into supporting people, who still want to take their medication. When most certainly I'm not going to be one to say stop all medication, but it's about helping them to see, okay, when you make the right lifestyle changes for yourself, you can actually make adjustments to them.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's another shift, I think. It's taking personal responsibility. It's both sad in a way or disappointing that realizing, oh, wow, this is a lifestyle disease. So something I have done must have contributed to it. But it's also empowering because now you can go and make other decisions and get yourself out of that, or at least improve in a really great amount and a really great capacity, so that you're not, again, burdened with this crutch or this pill, or maybe you're reducing the burden and only taking 1 or 2 pills instead of 17. So I think it's both ways. Like, once you realize what led to the problem and that how you have contributed to it, then you could also get yourself out of that. So knowing that there's 2 sides of that coin, and I know like the industry and healthcare, like they don't want us to feel guilty or sad about having done anything wrong in the past, but if we understand that there's a lot of different factors that contribute, not just the way we eat or what we eat, but the way we live our life, the way we deal with stress, even our careers, being unsatisfied with their career, being burdened with finances, or just things that just make up health is so much more than just having a gene for something. Epigenetics plays 95% of the role in activating that gene. So, it's not like, okay, you have a bad gene, woe is me, but actually you can do a lot of things to help yourself not express that gene. You can do a lot of preventative medicine and alternative, or just self-care to help yourself thrive rather than just survive.
Yeah, you touched on epigenetics just there, and I was going to talk about that as well, because I think that's such an important area that us as pharmacists can get involved in as well, right? I mean, being able to understand how the genetic expression is affecting someone's lifestyle, you can go down to the level of being able to say, look, if, yes, your genes are saying you're predisposed to X, Y, Z, but if you change these aspects of your lifestyle, you can prevent that from happening. That's like super powerful, right?
Absolutely. And, they're learning more and more about this every day. Like, let's say for diabetes, they used to think, okay, like, you're just genetically predisposed, nothing we can do, those beta islet cells is sluggish and lazy, but actually it turns out it runs in families because of the lifestyle and the diet that the family has generations in and out. And especially in the most recent times, even if the diet hasn't changed, the processing of the food has changed. So maybe that diet was fine a couple of generations ago, but now there's just so many factors and so many toxins that our bodies have to deal with that diet is becoming a real problem, and changes have to be made in the processing or getting some sort of shifts there so that your body is equipped with the optimal nutrients and antioxidants and just whole foods and whole plants so that it can balance itself out.
It's looking at the body as a whole, right?
Yeah.
And not in silos and isolation. It's like the symptom isn't, going back to what we were saying earlier about the root cause, going back to the root cause of why are you experiencing that symptom, and that can be multifactorial, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hi, Mike. Hello. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for saying hello in the comments as well.
Hello.
So, Marina, I'd really love to ask you about kind of how are you working as a holistic pharmacist now? Like, what does your day look like? Tell us.
Okay, so I still have a part-time day job where I work in pharmacy, and I am an independent retail setting. Can you hear me? I don't know if you're freezing up. Komal? I guess I'll keep going. So I work with herbs as part of my over-the-counter recommendations for clients. And I have my own private practice where I educate clients about herbal medicine and incorporating it as part of self-care and improving their health status.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, Kamal is back.
There you go.
I don't know if I was recording just now or not. I think
someone.
Okay, good.
Okay, apologies, guys. Technology. You're still
All
alive.
right.
I can hear you. Fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Right. Well, I basically told them about my part-time day job still in pharmacy, and then I have my business, which focuses a lot on education. So I work both with private clients and also with healthcare practitioners that want to incorporate herbalism into their practice.
Amazing.
So I help them both from like a business mentorship perspective and from the actual education about herbs and how to safely use them for themselves, their families, and their clients. And then I also am part of a telehealth platform for functional medicine pharmacists called Farm to Table.
Amazing. So how does that work? I'd love to learn more about it.
So this was started by a fellow pharmacist who studied functional medicine, and she actually also offers FXCE, so functional medicine continuing education credits. So she's involved in that education. And so this is a platform where patients from different states can kind of link up with pharmacists from those same states that they're in, and we can provide consulting services and look at it from a functional medicine lens, and then collaborate with prescribers if they do need additional tests or prescriptions.
Amazing. That sounds incredible to be able to kind of bring that functional medicine piece to telehealth, really, in a way that is going to, help improve lifestyle. Manisha's just asked a question, actually. Where would you recommend signpost pharmacists and other healthcare professionals kind of like about, self-educating themselves on lifestyle? I mean, Manisha, I'm assuming, Manish, I'm assuming that you're talking about the UK. If you are, let me know in the comments. If not, I'm sure Marina will be able to recommend as well. But there is the Institute for Functional Medicine, which is obviously in the US, and they do run courses here in the UK as well. There's also the British Lifestyle Medicine Society here in the UK, who run a lot of courses on lifestyle medicine too. And those are attended by kind of all healthcare professionals. So, they would include doctors and nutritionists and dietitians and pharmacists. I've done the prescribing lifestyle medicine course as well here, which is one that's run by Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, who's very kind of well known in the lifestyle medicine space here. So I hope that helps you, Manish. I will. I'll drop it in the comments as well, so that you get to see those as well later on. But that's kind of where I would say is a good place to start. And then we also have the Health Coaches UK Association, which is where kind of health coaches who are qualified health coaches can register, and they have they run lots of programs as well. So that kind of also ties into, into the application of lifestyle medicine, because health coaches ultimately are there to help the person, the individual, to make the changes that they need to, right? So, whereas a functional medicinal practitioner, or perhaps, someone who specializes in functional medicine essentially will do the prescribing, so to speak, of what needs to happen. The health coach comes in and helps the person to actually implement those changes to their lifestyle. So I'm really excited about all of the things that you're doing in this space, Marina, and how you're kind of helping to educate other healthcare professionals too. Tell us about the courses that you're kind of running.
Yeah, I also just wanted to touch on the question Manish asked. So I actually created a free reference. So it's a guide to all the professional resources that I use as a pharmacist and herbalist, and where I look things up, and also you can get certain courses and education online from these different herbal schools. So if you are interested about herbal medicine, this would be a good reference for you. And there's just so many career paths that can branch off. So like Komal was saying, that health coaching is one thing about providing accountability and helping somebody take action and actually get the results. If you want to be more of like a provider, you can do like naturopathy perhaps, or functional medicine certification. And then if you're really passionate about plant medicine like I am, and I was considering all these other avenues too when I was like looking to further my studies, but I ended up actually interning at a local herb shop to see if I would like it. And that is another thing that I would advise, to try to get experience and hands-on application of whatever you're learning or thinking about doing. Like if you can shadow somebody who you admire, or if you have a practitioner that you can work with and they allow you to shadow or something like that, or intern. So when I started working and interning at this space, this herb shop, and like seeing all the herbs and the plants and just being fascinated in that whole world, like, as pharmacists, we learn all these medications and how they work and the mechanism of actions and the structure and everything like that, and pharmacokinetics. That was interesting. And this is like a whole new world, but it's way more complex because there's just so many chemical constituents in just one single leaf of a flower. And it's just endless information and ways to go. And it was really inspiring for me to keep going and continue my studies once I entered the world. And I realized, a lot of these other fields like functional medicine and naturopathic medicine that I was considering are also based in botanicals, and like having a really good solid background in herbs and plants is really just an asset wherever you are. And like I said, every single culture and indigenous people have used this for a reason, and they've passed this knowledge down and for generations, and it's kind of been lost for a lot of it. But some big schools of medicine survived, like the Ayurvedic system and Chinese traditional medicine. And those are like the big ones that I studied myself. And I also studied the Western American herbalism. My goal for my next kind of area of study is going to be my own culture, the Russian or Slavic countries, because a lot of countries were able to integrate it. And I think it's possible to have this holistic integrated approach. And so I'm actually launching a program next week. So it starts February 1st. And if you have any, inkling or inspiration to study plants, this would be a really, really great intro and high level overview for you, especially if you're a healthcare practitioner, because you'll just catch on a lot quicker if you know the terminology and pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics and things like that, because those are some of the terms that I'll be comparing plants to. Not that I would be using plants the same as drugs, but anyway, I'll just tell you how the whole herbalism philosophy works, how it is different, but also how you can use it in conjunction with pharmacology and pharmacy. And then if you are hoping to kind of turn it into a side hustle or practice or consultancy gig, I will be also supporting how to build that from the ground up and mentor you with personal development and getting your focus and clarity and your confidence in running such a business.
I mean, I've seen the syllabus on the course and it sounds really, really fascinating, I have to say. I'm like, you know, if I hadn't kind of like done all the courses that I feel like to do right now, I definitely would have got involved in doing your course, Marina, because it does sound really, really interesting. And we're gonna add the links here to the live. Let me see if I've got the links available. Okay, it's not there. I didn't prepare the links, but I will add them on later on. So if you are watching this again, then or you know you come back to this this discussion, then I will make sure that they are there so you can see them and you can connect with Marina. So where can people connect with you, Marina, before we kind of head off?
So I would love to get to know you and support you and hear what you're doing and what your passion and vision is. And if that involves plant medicine, you know, I could be a great resource for you. So please look me up at drmarinabuksov.com. So that's drmarina.buksov.com. And my kind of like tagline and all my social media platforms are Rawfork, RAWFORK. So you can look me up there on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and also if you just type my name, you'll look me up there too.
Amazing. Oh, well, thank you so much, Marina, for spending this time with us this evening and for sharing all of your thoughts on holistic pharmacy and, you know, being a holistic pharmacist. I'm so grateful to you for sharing everything that you know. Thank you guys to everyone that has joined us as well. If you do have any questions, or if you're watching this on a replay, then drop a little hashtag replay in the comments and let me know that you've watched it, and do give us any questions, drop any questions that you have about holistic pharmacy. Marina and I will be happy to jump in and help answer questions that you might have. But thank you so much, Marina, for joining us. And thanks so much for being here. And I will see you soon.
Thank you, Komal. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. So thank you to Marina. Thank you guys all for watching today. If you have been joining us live, I really, really appreciate all of you guys who have watched and commented as well. Again, if you know, as I mentioned, if you've got any questions about holistic pharmacy, then drop it in the comments below, and we will come back to you and answer your questions. And I can't wait to bring you so many more discussions here in the Happy Healthcare Professional series, because we are going to be talking to some amazing pharmacy and healthcare professionals over the coming weeks. And if you've got any suggestions, then drop them in the comments as well. Someone said thanks, lots of food for thought. Thank you so much. Michael says thanks, sounds good. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, very interesting. Thank you guys for watching. Really, really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions of discussions, comments, people that you want to speak, you know, to have join us on this series, then do let me know. It would be my pleasure to bring them on and have a discussion with them. And have a great evening, everyone. Take care. And I shall see you next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock, live, doing our next session for Happy Healthcare Professionals in the Happy Healthcare Professional series. So do join me live again next week, and take care, everyone. Bye.